It began with a flight that no one saw coming. The destination? Italy. And the passenger? None other than Demet Özdemir, the woman whose every move still manages to send shockwaves across Europe. When she stepped off that plane in Rome, the cameras didn't even catch her at first. There were no red carpets, no press waiting, no managers around. Just her, wearing a black cap, oversized sunglasses, and a silence that spoke louder than words. But in that silence, there was something else. Something that said, this wasn't just a trip. Italy has always had a special meaning in her story. Because Italy means Yaman. The man who went from being her co-star to becoming her greatest love, and then her biggest heartbreak. The man she once laughed with on set, whose gaze she couldn't escape during filming. The man she once said made her feel seen like no one ever did. And now, after all these years, she's back in his world. At first, no one believed it. Fans saw the airport photo and thought, it can't be her. But when an Italian paparazzo posted a short clip of Demet leaving a car near the same hotel where Yaman was staying, the internet exploded. Within minutes, #Demet in Italy and #Yaman trended across social media. And fans began asking the same burning question, was this coincidence, or destiny? Because only a few days before her arrival, Ken had posted something cryptic on his Instagram story, a short quote that said, "Some flights are not planned, they are called by fate." No one paid much attention then. But now? That post feels like a prophecy. The tension between them has always been more than words. Back during the filming of Erkenci Kuss, people saw it, the way their eyes found each other in every scene, the electricity that couldn't be faked. Even when the camera stopped rolling, something lingered. A kind of connection that doesn't disappear, no matter how much time passes or how many oceans lie between two people. After their careers took them in different directions, Ken built his empire in Italy. He became the face of global perfume campaigns, appeared at film festivals, and signed contracts worth millions. But behind the fame, fans always noticed a quiet sadness, especially in his eyes. Interviews would come and go, journalists would ask about love, and he would smile and say, "Some things belong to the past, but the past never leaves you." Those who truly knew his story understood what he meant. When Demet landed in Italy this week, sources close to both of them began to talk. According to one insider, this wasn't a random trip. She knew he was there. And she came with something to say. The rumor spread like wildfire. Suddenly, Italian entertainment programs opened their shows with one question: has Demet come to bring closure, or to open a new chapter? Ken, meanwhile, was in Florence that evening, attending a private charity gala. Surrounded by lights, cameras, and applause, he looked impeccable as always, black tuxedo, calm smile. But witnesses said that his phone never left his hand. That night, he excused himself early, without explanation. Some say he drove straight to Rome. Others believe he stayed up all night, staring at the same message on his phone that he couldn't answer. Because, according to leaked information from a close assistant, Demet had sent him just one line: "I'm here. We need to talk." The next morning, paparazzi caught her walking through Trastevere, Rome's most romantic neighborhood. She wasn't hiding anymore. Fans recognized her instantly, and within hours, photos flooded the internet. She looked serene, almost as if she had already made peace with whatever was about to happen. Meanwhile, Ken went completely silent. No social media posts. No public appearances. No press statements. Just a long, haunting pause. For someone as disciplined and controlled as Yaman, that silence was louder than any words. What could he possibly be thinking? Some say he was torn between pride and emotion, between the man who has moved on and the man who never really did. Because despite everything, the rumors, the distance, the fame, the bond between them was never truly broken. In one of his past interviews, Ken once said, "There are people who come into your life not to stay forever, but to remind you who you really are." Many fans now believe he was talking about Demet. And now, seeing her back in Italy, the place that symbolizes both his success and his solitude, feels like life bringing everything full circle. By the third day of her stay, Italian tabloids claimed that Demet and Ken had finally met. The meeting, according to several sources, happened late at night, away from the cameras, in a quiet villa near Lake Bracciano, a place Ken often escapes to when he wants to think. No photos, no videos, no proof. Only whispers. But for fans, that was enough. They started imagining what that conversation might have been like. Two people who shared love, pain, and silence. Perhaps she said she forgave him. Perhaps he said he never stopped caring. Or maybe they simply sat there, realizing that words were no longer needed. The following morning, Ken reappeared in public, at a small coffee shop in Rome. For the first time in months, he wasn't alone. Sitting next to him was his mother, Yaman. They talked for hours, laughing quietly, and at one point, she reached across the table and held his hand. That small gesture touched millions online. It looked like a moment of peace, the calm after a storm. Later that day, Demet was seen leaving her hotel, smiling softly, holding her phone. When a reporter asked if she had met Ken, she paused for a second, then simply said, "Italy always gives me something to remember." That single sentence was enough to break the internet again. Fans flooded the comments, "They met. We know they did. This isn't over. It's a new beginning." Fate brought them together again. But then came the twist no one saw coming. The very next day, Ken made a decision that truly stunned everyone. Without any announcement, he cancelled 2 upcoming promotional events, one in Milan, one in Madrid, and flew to Istanbul. The move shocked his team. Even his management seemed confused. Why leave now, right after the woman from his past returned? According to Italian media, this wasn't a retreat. It was a decision born out of clarity. A journalist close to Ken's circle revealed, after that meeting, he decided to focus on something more personal. Something he had avoided for years. The speculation grew wild. Some believed he went back to Turkey to reconnect with family. Others whispered that he might be preparing for a new project, one that involves both Italy and Turkey. But one particular rumor stood out above all, that Ken had finally made peace with his past, and that Demet had been the reason he could. What did that mean, exactly? Perhaps it wasn't about rekindling love. Maybe it was about closure, forgiveness, or understanding. Because sometimes, the bravest decision is not to go back, but to finally move forward, without anger, without regret. Still, not everyone believes it's over. A source close to Demet said, she didn't come for closure. She came because there was still something left unsaid. And that, in itself, keeps hope alive among fans who have never stopped believing in them. In the days that followed, subtle hints began appearing online. A playlist shared by Demet on Spotify, full of Italian songs about longing and destiny. A quote Ken reposted from a Turkish poet, "Those who are meant to meet again will find each other, even on opposite sides of the world." The internet connected the dots instantly. Suddenly, what seemed like an ending began to feel like the start of something else. Two souls crossing paths once again, older, wiser, scarred, but still connected. By the end of that week, an Italian TV presenter closed her show with these words, "In this world of noise and illusion, there are still stories that remind us what love really is. Not perfection. Not fame. But the courage to face someone who once broke your heart, and still see beauty in their eyes." Maybe that's what this trip was about. Maybe that's why Demet came back to Italy. Not to start again, not to explain the past, but to finally understand it. Ken's decision to leave, to pause his glamorous routine and return home, wasn't weakness. It was power. The power of a man choosing peace over pride, truth over image. The power of someone who finally understands that love doesn't always mean holding on, sometimes, it means letting go, but with gratitude. And as fans continue to dissect every glance, every quote, every flight update, one thing remains clear: the story of Demet Özdemir and Yaman is far from finished. It is transformed from a simple celebrity romance into something much deeper, a symbol of love that refuses to be forgotten. Because maybe, somewhere in Italy, between the sunset over Rome and the quiet streets of Florence, two people met once more, not as actors, not as lovers, but as two souls who finally found closure in each other's presence. And maybe, just maybe, that's what left the whole world speechless, and yet, something about that final silence between them refuses to fade. Even as days passed, fans noticed a subtle change in both. Demet's smile seemed calmer, wiser, like someone who had faced her past and walked through it with strength. Can, on the other hand, looked lighter, freer, as if a weight he had carried for years had finally fallen away. Maybe they didn't need to announce anything, because the truth was already written in their eyes. In a world that craves drama, their quiet understanding became the loudest love story of all, one that truly left the world stunned.